When it comes to sports in Lorain, your station to watch is TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
Well, hi again, everybody. Welcome back to George Daniels Stadium in Lorain. We are here now for the second half of our football doubleheader on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television. It's the 8th grade matchup between Lorraine Middle and the Whittier Warriors. Of course, the 7th grade game dominated by Lorraine Middle. The final score there was 34-6. But Barry Buck, as we mentioned during that first contest, the second game, the 8th grade game, a little bit different. The guys are more physical. They're a little more mature. The folks at home will see that they're bigger out there on that football field, and also a little bit more complicated as far as the offenses and defenses
they'll
are
run
concerned.
Some different things, and they'll also follow the rules a little more. They'll have the punts, the live punts, and they still don't do the kickoffs or the extra points, but they still have the live kicking on the punts, and so some of the rules are a little bit different. Yeah, it's like a real football game now.
Now, as the coaches are watching this game, what sort of development are they looking for here at the 8th grade level, perhaps compared to the 7th grade game we saw earlier?
Well, you're probably looking at a little more of the complex offense. Now they can go to the next phase and start to do some of the other things that run a little deeper with the offense and with the defense. You can start to blitz linebackers. You can do some things with your secondary that you couldn't do when the kids were younger.
So again, the 8th grade matchup promises to look more like more of an intricate football game per se. Should be an interesting matchup here at George Daniels Stadium in Lorain. And again, even though these kids played here last year as 7th graders, still a big thrill for them to be on the field again tonight as an 8th grade unit.
Well, the big difference too is they'll play with the lights on.
Right.
They're on already. Kenny Clark said, "Tell Tim Alcorn the lights are going on."
Oh, Kenny does anything to please me. I know that. Should be a lot of fun. The 8th grade game between Lorraine Middle and Lorraine Whittier. We're glad to bring it to you here on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television, and we'll have the opening possession of the contest right after this.
Mom, Dad,
guess what?
pretty soon, someone's gonna try to get me to take drugs.
Want to do something about it?
They're gonna have to make me tell you where I am
And who I'm with every day.
no matter how much I fight you. Don't like it? Tough.
You gotta be the grown-up.
Daniels Stadium in Lorain. Tim Alcorn, Barry Buck with you on WLCS TV 20 as we get ready to start the 8th grade matchup between Lorraine Whittier and the Lorraine Middle School Steelmen. And Barry, just looking at the opening shot, you can see where these kids are physically bigger. They're a little more developed than the 7th graders are. Whittier has it first. First down and 10 at their own 35-yard line. Vince Gerace is their quarterback. Gerace on an inside handoff, and there isn't any room whatsoever for the running back, Chris Garcia. Boy, he was stood up and thrown down right at the line of scrimmage. And here comes Whittier with the no-huddle offense. Full house backfield behind Gerace. 2nd and 10 from the 35-yard line. Gerace gives it to the second back, and tiptoeing his way out to about the 39-yard line was the second back through, Michael Wilson. Sets up a 3rd down and 5. And now the officials are halting things for just a moment.
The Whittier's lined up so fast they chain people, and again you have volunteers doing that, and they're not ready to spot the ball. Lorraine Middle must be the home team because they're on this side, which is different than last game.
3rd and 5. Gerace throws it downfield to a wide-open receiver, Daniel Stevens at the 30, the 25, and finally dragged down from behind at the 21-yard line. Somebody lost track of Daniel Stevens.
I bet I know where they got that play. Vince Gerace's dad coached the indoor arena team, what were they called? The Cleveland what? With Earl Bruce.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't the Crusaders. What were they called? He just told me last week because I couldn't remember it again. But his dad, Vince Gerace's dad, coached with Earl.
Gerace inside handoff and thrown down right at the 20-yard line by the jersey.
Man, I can tell you all kinds of things about that. I can't remember the name.
Andre Nash.
The Shomo kid from Sandusky played for him. The wide receiver played for them. I remember Earl. Earl was their coach.
2nd down and 8. Whittier on the march here.
Boy, 75 is a big boy. You're right. The size difference is amazing.
Gerace under center, full house backfield behind him. Gives it to the second back, trying to dance outside is Garcia. He doesn't get much, as over there for the Steelman was Kelly Melendez.
Well, I know somebody else that's happy with that formation. That would be Woody. Double tight, full house. Woody's just smiling. He's saying, somebody remembers football.
Third down play now for Whittier. Third and about 6. 6:15 to go first quarter.
Well, it was third down last time that they pulled the trick play, so we'll see what happens again.
8th grade Warriors with the first possession of the night. There's the pitch. Oh, the back got crushed. There's a loose ball, and it's finally picked up back at the 32-yard line.
Rolando Carter looked like Warren Sapp on that play and just destroyed the halfback. They were trying to run a halfback pass, and we'll see the replay here. And Rolando just got up and just destroyed that play.
Michael Wilson lined up in the middle, or excuse me, it wasn't Michael Wilson, it was Andre Nash that had the pitch, and he just got destroyed back at the 32-yard line. And now Whittier will go for it on 4th and 22. Well, it looks as though they'll punt. Unless Gerace is going to operate out of a shotgun. He is. Floats it deep down the left side, and it's intercepted. The pass is picked off for Lorraine Middle, and Tom Sigmund brings it all the way back to about the 28-yard line. Boy, nice play by Sigmund as he stayed at home.
It's hard to tell a kid not to intercept the ball, but if he knocks that down, they gain probably another 10 or 12 yards because it would have been back to the line of scrimmage on 4th down.
Yeah, but he wanted a little airtime here on WLCS.
And he almost took it the distance.
He got it pretty close to where it was. He'll take the glory of the INT there.
You can't tell a kid to knock the ball down. And
so here comes Lorraine Middle, their first possession offensively. Colin Wright is their quarterback. There's a fumble on the handoff, but the running back was able to fall on it, as pouncing on the pigskin was Julius Rollins. Boy, how about 78? Anthony Edwards for Lorraine Middle. He's a big fella.
There's some big boys out there. And there's some, the running backs are much, much bigger. 44 is a good size. 77 running on the field now.
James Haviland checks in for Lorraine Middle. Lorraine Middle in the black uniforms, gold letters and numbers, black pants with the white helmet. 2nd down and 10. And now there's movement in the line, although I think that ball was actually snapped. And Whittier saying they've got it, and they do. The play looked awkward because everybody else, I think, was going on 2 except the center. He went on 1, so that ball was a live ball. It popped out of there, and Whittier falls on it at the 25-yard line.
Well, I saw the referee look to the far linesman to see if he was signaling a penalty or anything, and he didn't make a move, so it's 1st down. It's Whittier.
See, the snap will come, but nobody else moves. I think they all expected to go on 2.
I think the snap's coming. There it is. You're the only one. You're right.
And now here's Whittier with the football down the left sideline. On the run is Chris Garcia. And Garcia scampers inside the 20, close to the 15-yard line.
I see his mom and dad sitting down there in the stands.
Gain of 11 for Garcia. That'll move the chains. 1st down and 10 for Whittier. Well, turnovers were a huge factor in the first ball game, the 7th grade matchup, won by Lorraine Middle 34-6. Big turnover here in the first quarter for Lorraine Middle.
One each side. Of course, that turnover for Whittier was just the same as a punt.
Gerace gives it to the second back, showing some explosiveness inside the 10. Close to the 5-yard line is Miles Page. And that'll be a 1st down for Whittier. 1st and goal for the Warriors.
Well, you also notice there's some different ball handling. There's faking in the backfield now, and so it's a little harder for the defense to find the ball. Gerace is doing a good job of giving the ball to the second back.
Oh, Miles got stuck on that play. Boy, a terrific hit made for Lorraine Middle by Matt Yost.
Those gold numbers are getting harder to see.
Still a gain of 1 for Miles Page on that carry. 2nd down and goal from the 4. 4:15 to go. First quarter of play. Whittier looking to break a scoreless ball game. Full house backfield behind Vince Gerace. Gerace gives it to Miles. Miles plunging, touchdown. Miles Page just lowered the shoulder, stuck that football out there, and Whittier breaks the ice. Warriors lead it 6-0.
You know, it's a thrill to score a touchdown, but it's even a bigger thrill to do it in the stadium against your arch rival, and that's just something you'll never forget. By the time he's 35, that'll be a 75-yarder that he broke 4 tackles, but that's a great thrill for the kids, and again, they're going to go for 2.
Gerace hands off. Miles had the ball stripped out of there. It's loose at the 1, so the 2-point conversion run is no good. So Whittier breaks the ice as Miles Page broke the plane of the end zone, and the Warriors lead it 6-0. Capitalizing on that turnover, Barry Buck.
There you go. He's turning it over deep again inside the 30, and you just can't give the other team the ball down there. I think I watched something the other day, the Steelers into Denver, and they said if you have plus 3 turnovers, you have like a 93% chance of winning the ball game. And then Denver turned around and proved that wrong because they beat the Steelers and had to turn it over 4 times.
Colin Wright is the Lorraine Middle quarterback. First down and 10 for the Steelmen at their own 35-yard line. Colin Wright under heavy pressure hands it off, and hit and dropped immediately is Julius Rollins. Boy, there was a Whittier Warrior on the quarterback, and as soon as he got rid of it, there was a Warrior on the running back.
Well, just like in the first game where the nose tackle was just playing havoc with Whittier, it looks like Whittier's getting in the backfield before they can even get the ball going, and Colin Wright's got no chance. He did all he could do just to get that ball handed off. That could have easily been handed off to Whittier.
Second down and 10 for the Steelmen at their own 35-yard line. Here comes a back in motion. He gets the handoff, sheds a tackle, out to the 40, dancing for room, trying to get to the right sideline. Derek Carter, 45-50, to the 45, and finally shoved out of bounds into the Whittier bench.
We want to check and see if that's not Anton dressed up in a different jersey, because he did a nice job running there. Again, if you'll see Whittier sent a linebacker on a blitz. I think number 20 came on a blitz, and, you know, you gamble when you blitz. And that time it paid off. You see the Whittier's got 3 or 4 guys right on the center of the ball. And here comes 20. You see him in the screen, and then he ran right where he was.
He hit Carter too high on that one, allowed Carter to shake the tackle. They actually spot his foot out right at the midfield stripe. First down and 10 for the Steelmen at the 50-yard line. Handoff goes to the back in motion, Chris Flowers, and Flowers is thrown down. He may have gotten one. Nice defensive play made by Andre Nash for Whittier. Second down and 10. We're under 3 minutes to go first quarter. Again, 8-minute periods at the middle school level.
And that's really enough. 32 minutes is long enough for the kids to play.
Colin Wright, double wing formation. Inside handoff, plowing his way inside the 45, close to the 43-yard line, is Julius Rollins. Gain of about 7 for Julius. Will set up a 3rd down and 3.
And tackled by Robbie Willoughby, number 42. What did you do to Ray that he disappeared? You started talking about Saturday afternoon games, and he was gone.
He was nice enough to bring us up a nice big box of pizza.
Well, it was nice of you not to get on him until he fed us, and then he left. But
yeah, I learned my lesson last year. 3rd down and 3. Handoff goes to Rollins, falling for that first down marker. He's about
short.
a yard and a half shy.
Tackled by Mike Castillo and Daniel Stevens. Going to be 4th and about 2. I don't see Lorraine Middle punting. In junior high, you only punt when you have to.
Although in that first ball game, we saw a kick that was outstanding.
Yeah, but you wonder if it, but no rush, you had all the time you need, but yeah, it was a good punt though, regardless if you stand there by himself. 4th
down play, Rollins gets the handoff. He'll be close. Boy, he got tripped up in a hurry by Greg Curry.
Going to say, depending on the spot, isn't that what we hear on the TV all the time? Where's the yellow line when we need it? Mike Raisler thinks he's got a 1st down. I think he's got it.
Joe Box says he's close. Now, what kind of political response is that?
I went out on a limb and said he made it.
Well, they're going to bring the chains out, and they will measure. They stretch the chains, and I'll say he's short.
I think they walked crooked. They walked crooked out there. It looked like they had it from the other side.
So the ball goes over on downs to the Warriors from Whittier Whittier Middle School. I have yet to say Southview, though. Got to give credit on that
I
one.
said it earlier.
I've yet to say Saints or Southview. 1st and 10 for the Warriors at their own 39-yard line. And Gerace is going to operate out of a shotgun. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Bouncing snap to Gerace, scoops it up, rolls to the left, being chased, trying to escape the pressure, finally heads to the Whittier bench, got rocked out of bounds at about the 44-yard line. Boy, James Haviland, big number 77 for Lorraine Middle, was applying some pressure, couldn't quite track down Gerace.
Now, either we miscounted in the first game or we lost an official. Did we have 5 in the first game?
And Gerace will operate out of the shotgun again, no huddle. 2nd down, flings it on the right side,
nice
complete
play
to Michael Wilson, but Wilson hit and immediately dropped after making the tackle. Boy, what a play by Rolando Carter.
He might have heard our advertisements for that CC's Pizza. He's playing well of a football game already.
Rolando could do the whole buffet. Pretty big fella out there for the Steelmen. 3rd and 6, no huddle. Gerace, draw play, right up the middle comes Miles Page. Oh, did he get hit? Matt Yost introduced himself to Miles Page. And Whittier is far short of the 1st down.
Yeah, this no huddle is messing up our producer-director. Having trouble getting the plays in.
Wine on Harvest Moon. Joe Bach is a pro. End-over-end kick. Bounces at the 25 and will roll dead at the 24-yard line as Blake Jamerson wanted nothing to do with that. Lorraine Middle will get it back. 6-0. They trail Whittier. Again, the only scorer in the ball game, Miles Page, with a 4-yard touchdown run for Whittier with 4:02 to go in the 1st quarter.
You know, not only are some of these kids pretty big, but there's some tall kids out there. There's a plethora of kids out there probably 5'10" or better in the 8th grade.
Plethora?
Plethora, meaning many.
I know what that word means.
And as Joe says, it means a lot of them, right, Joe?
Here's the pitch to Chris Flowers. Flowers up, bended in the backfield. Boy, that's a terrific play, making the stop Andre Nash for Whittier. And that'll be the final play of the 1st quarter. 8 minutes are in the book here at George Daniels Stadium. At the end of 1, it's Whittier leading Lorraine Middle 6-0. This 8th grade football matchup, a special sports presentation of WLCS TV 20, Lorraine City Schools Television.
CC's Pizza, all you can eat for only $3.99.
CC's Buffet has 16 kinds of great tasting pizza, pasta, salad, and desserts, all you can eat for only $3.99. And CC's was voted #1 for overall customer satisfaction.
The best buffet that you can find, lunch and dinner anytime. Let's go to CC's Pizza. Great taste at a great price.
Since 1921, your hometown financial professionals at First Federal Savings of Lorain have dedicated themselves to meeting the financial needs of their customers and surrounding communities. They offer a wide variety of financial investments as well as home mortgages to meet your every need. Loans on boats, cars, mobile homes, and other worthwhile purchases are also available. Whatever your financial need, First Federal Savings of Lorain is ready to help. 7 convenient locations to serve you in Lorain, Huron, Sandusky, Port Clinton, and now at 36690 Detroit Road in Avon. First Federal Savings of Lorain is an equal housing lender and FDIC insured.
First play of the 2nd quarter, Lorraine Middle, and on the handoff, right up the gut, right up the middle for Lorraine Middle, was that big fullback Julius Rollins. He got about 5. Again, we start the 2nd quarter with Whittier leading 6-0. The only score in the ball game, Miles Page, a 4-yard touchdown run for the Warriors, came after a Steelman turnover. Third down, 3rd and about 6 for Lorraine Middle. Colin Wright is the quarterback. Rollins, the lone back behind him. Rollins gets the handoff and just hanging on by the ankle for Whittier was Mike Castillo. You know what that reminded me of? Jeff Van Gundy for the New York Knicks when he was hanging on to the leg. I believe it was Larry Johnson. If you remember that brawl that took place between the Knicks, might have been Orlando or the Miami Heat.
Yes.
Van Gundy was just hanging on. Look at this. Please don't go. Please don't go. Finally, down he goes at the 40-yard line. 4th down and about 4. And Lorraine Middle will be forced to kick. Matt Mayer will do the kicking for the Steelmen. Good snap to Matt. Gets the kick away. End over end short kick. But it takes a great Lorraine Middle roll all the way down to the 30-yard line. Matt Mayer got a nice roll out of that one. Turns out to be a 30-yard punt. And the Whittier Warriors will have it. 1st down and 10, leading 6-0. Barry, what's all that paperwork you're looking through?
I'm looking through some bios here that Joe gave me. Some of the kids filled out questions they ask. You have Rolando Carter. We mentioned his name several times. His favorite class is Mr. Reinhardt and Mr. Edwards, math and social studies. His favorite player is Ray Lewis. His hobbies are music, sports, and hanging with friends. He's got a grade point average of 3.5.
Gerace for Whittier. Gives it to Chris Garcia, trying to turn the corner to the 35, and finally shoved into the Lorraine Middle bench at about the 36-yard line. Garcia with a gain of 6.
That was a nice tackle by Kelly Melendez. We have another one here for Lorraine Middle. We have Colin Wright, the quarterback. Mr. Reinhardt is his favorite teacher. His influence are his parents. His future goal is to play football or baseball at college. He also has a 3.8 grade point average.
That's a good thing to hear. That's neat. 2nd down and 3 as Garcia managed to scamper for 7 right there. Whittier with the football. 6:21 to go, 1st half. Glad you could join us here on WLCS TV 20. Back goes in motion. They fake it to him. The second back through Miles Page. Breaks 1 tackle, and he's close to that 1st down marker. He got collared at the 40-yard line. Nice defensive job by Kelly Melendez for Lorraine Middle.
Trying to find some more here. If I can go through here and find some of the players that Chris Garcia has a 3.0 grade average. His favorite class is English with Mr. Stewart. His dad, because he always helps him with understanding stuff and knows a lot about sports. His hobbies are PlayStation 2 and the internet.
3rd and less than a yard for Whittier. Gerace will keep it himself. Lowers the shoulder, follows his center, and gets to about the 42-yard line. That'll be a 1st down for the Warriors.
I'm looking.
No, I'm enjoying the comments. That's a nice feature. Did Joe Bach introduce that?
Yes, he did. We had it for the high school teams, and it was nice to see some of the kids. We've mentioned Miles Page a couple times. He scored the touchdown. His first period class is Miss Wright. His dad is his influence. Terrell Owens is his favorite player, and he has a 3.1 grade point average. Miles Page.
So Miles Page really likes those Sharpies then.
Cameron Bryant. There's a name. Chuck Bryant's grandson.
I would assume
His
so.
dad's a coach at Southview, number 55. Mr. Muck's his favorite teacher. He teaches his math in a fun way with all of his contests. His dad is grandpa and all of his coaches.
Are the influences.
He has a 3.8 grade average, and he makes the honor roll. His grandfather played football at Ohio State University and played in the pros.
Boomer played
Cameron
in the
Bryant.
pros. Gerace rolling to the left, being chased from behind. Oh, did he
Nice
get a block? Flips it downfield, tipped the ball, intercepted for Lorraine Middle. Tim Taylor picked it off, and Tim Taylor dropped at the 39-yard line.
All kinds of activity going on out there. Nice block down here. We'll see the replay, which allowed him to throw the ball, but now you wish he hadn't thrown it.
Tim Taylor taking time out from Fox 8 News to come over here and make a pick.
Like you say, though, the tip drill, something that you work with the defensive backs. We'll see a nice block right here. Oh. Man. And then tip drill, and he's looking for someone to pass it to, I think. But hold on to the ball, and
6-0 Lorraine Middle on the turnover. They have it at their own 39-yard line. Fake pitch on the misdirection. Derek
nice
Carter.
block.
Lots of room. He's to the 50. He's to the 40. They won't catch him. Derek Carter is on the fly, and he's past the pylon into the end zone. Touchdown, Derek Carter, 62 yards, and Lorraine Middle has tied this game at 6.
He got a great block from Julius Rollins, number 34, who just sprung him loose and put him into the wide side of the field, and off he went. But that was just a great block. We'll see.
They faked the pitch.
34 is leading. Look at that block. He just kept him for 5 yards, pushed him, and then he turned a corner and he was gone.
He knocked Maurice Nieves out of the play just enough to spring Carter down that left sideline, and then it was a sprint, and they weren't going to catch him. Handoff goes to Rollins, and Rollins, despite the mix-up in the backfield,
they did everything wrong on that play and still scored.
Brings it in for the 2-point conversion, and Lorraine Middle has grabbed an 8-6 lead.
I have another bio here. Andre Nash, number 24. Mr. Stewart's his favorite teacher. His dad helps him as his influence in sports. My future goal is to be a lawyer. I enjoy going to the movies and playing basketball. Andre Nash.
First down and 10 for Whittier. The Warriors at their own 35-yard line. They're now down 8-6. 4:58 to go, second quarter of play. Gerace gives it on a misdirection play coming here to the near side.
Nice tackle.
Chris Garcia, and he doesn't go anywhere.
Tom Sigmund. Here's an interesting comment. Maurice Nieves said Mrs. Zarek and Mrs. Uline are her favorite teachers because they never give up on kids, no matter how bad we are doing. He wants to play basketball and football and baseball. It's his future goals. Interesting to say teachers just don't give up on you, no matter how bad you're doing.
Kind of like me and you. We never give up on each other, Barry, because I know you'll pull me through when we get to the desperate times. Gerace, fake handoff. Here comes the rush. Floats it down the left side.
Oh, nice try.
Incomplete. Tom Sigmund was there for Lorraine Admiral King, or excuse me, for Lorraine Middle. It was Michael Rosario trying to go up and make the catch for Whittier. Boy, that ball got batted around. Boy, what a job by Gerace to stand in there under the pressure.
And just threw it up there, and great defensive play to tip it away. Chris Gutierrez says social studies. Mrs. Hostert is his favorite teacher. When she talks with her hands, and she's always hyper.
Well, I'm sure Mrs. Hostert will love to hear that. Inside handoff. There's a fumble on the play, and Lorraine Middle has it at the 35-yard line. The exchange was never clean to Miles Page, and Lorraine Middle comes out of there with the football and an opportunity to add to their lead. That ball just squirted out of there, and making the recovery was Julius Rollins.
We talk about the thrill for the kids to be here, but I've been going through these bios, and I noticed some of the kids say, my dad played for Southview. Here's Michael Rosario. Says, my dad started at quarterback for Southview. Grade point average of 4.0.
Right, back to pass, rolling right,
nice
flips
pass.
it right, complete down to the 32-yard line. Shoved out of bounds for Lorraine Middle after making the catch was Derek Carter.
Seeing some really nice, some kids are playing the ball. You notice the passes are a little more crisp, the routes are a little more designed, and they're doing a good job with those.
Second down and about 7. Short gain of 3 on that play. Double wing formation for Lorraine Middle. Rollins the lone back behind Colin Wright. Wright, long signal count, and now Lorraine Middle will take time. 4:33 to go, first half of play, 8-6. Lorraine Middle leading by 2. And the Steelmen looking to add to their advantage. Which turned out to be a gorgeous night here at George Daniel
after
Field.
Yesterday, and we made a comment in the earlier game, and maybe some people are turning in a little later, but the field just in great condition, and we're going to see there was a soccer game here last night in all of that rain. There's a soccer game here after the doubleheader tonight, and the field looks, like you said earlier, like a golf course.
Barry, I just don't have enough good things to say about Kenny Clark.
The lights were on in time tonight for the early, plenty of time.
Kenny Clark, no matter what they're paying him, He deserves every penny of it. He does an outstanding job. He's retiring?
Yes.
Joe Bach telling us that Kenny Clark's going to hang up the rakes and shovels. Oh, my goodness.
No, he's going to hang up that little gator or whatever that thing is he rides around in here. But here's an interesting one you don't hear from kids. Chris Compass says his English teacher is Mrs. Compton, and she's a very good person, and I know Mrs. Compton is a great lady. He said his hobbies are reading, and he has a 3.9 GPA.
And what's his future goal there?
To be a millionaire.
You like that. There's a young man with ambition. Off the timeout, Lorraine Middle, 2nd down and 7. Colin Wright is their quarterback. Julius Rollins behind him. Wright hands off to Rollins, bobbled it, got it back, and he just powers his way inside the 30 to the 25-yard line. He'll be about a yard shy of the first down.
Another comment from Christian Dodson. He said English Mrs. Roberts is his favorite teacher because she cares for her students. And those are nice things to hear from kids. Usually you'll see because it's easy or because it's fun. Here's people understanding that teachers do care. Mr. James Haviland likes Mr. Pivovar. I like to learn about the past. 3.1 GPA.
Hand off Rollins. Ooh, did he get hit? And yet he bounces off it and falls forward for a first down. You know, people don't realize, or maybe they do, the influence that teachers have on young kids. It is amazing. I can look back to my 7th and 8th grade days, and I remember my teachers like it was yesterday that I was sitting in those classes. And Mr. Hurley for English and Mr. Mooney for history, and just had a wonderful time. And indeed, teachers and coaches are just major influences on young men and young ladies' lives. First down and 10 for Lorraine Middle at their own 21-yard line. Big pitch. Now the misdirection goes to Derek Carter. Carter tries to turn the corner, sheds a tackle. Carter to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon. Touchdown. Derek Carter with his 2nd touchdown of the night, and that will extend Lorraine Middle's lead to 14-6.
You know, yeah, we got a good block here again. And it's
There's
34 again.
And Rollins,
man,
just devastated Greg Curry. Oh, my goodness.
A decleater. You know, you wonder if Kenny Clark has the couple of brooms he can bring out, because the way Lorraine Middle's going at this, they may need a broom here for a sweep. What do you think?
3:23 to go, first half. And now the 2-point conversion run. Rollins got hit by Miles, bounces off it, falls forward, and he didn't quite get there for the 2-point conversion.
That's a great effort.
So the score remains 14-6, Lorraine Middle. We certainly have seen our share of exciting plays here at George Daniel tonight for Carter, his 2nd touchdown of the ball game. That one was pretty.
Again, a good crowd. And do you have the paper that tells us when people will be able to, as they're watching the game, when they can watch it again?
Sure. This game is airing, as you folks very well know, Friday, October 17th and Sunday, October 19th at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. So if you're watching this on Friday, it will be on again on Sunday at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m.
And that's because there's no football at George Daniel this weekend.
There you go. Gerace inside handoff for Whittier. On the carry is Andre Nash.
And Rolando Carter, who I will take the side of your usual partner, the defensive guy, and say he's making a valiant effort for that pizza award. Even though he hasn't scored 2 scores, but
the CC's pizza?
The 16 pizzas. They may have to split it. Maybe they could take each other. What do you think?
Oh, my goodness. Gerace, play action, hanging it deep.
Oh, he got it!
The fly. Michael Rosario will take it in as he sprints to the end zone. What a play. A terrific throw by Gerace.
In stride.
He hit Rosario right in stride.
Culpepper to Moss. Culpepper to Moss. That was pretty. That's exciting to see.
For 8th grade football, it doesn't get any better than that. Look at this throw. Great play action. Nice tight spiral. boom, right on the mark.
And, and it wasn't a bad defensive play. The defender for Lorraine Middle was there. It just went right over his outstretched hands for a score. Great play.
Gerace with the touchdown pass, Rosario with the reception, and now the two-point conversion attempt fails. But that's one you'll remember for a while. 63 yards, and it's a 14-12 ball game. Lorraine Middle still on top, as the two-point conversion is no good.
When I read the bios, it was Michael Rosario who said his dad started at quarterback for Southview, and here he is on the receiving end. Maybe he and his dad have been in the yard throwing a ball.
Get this one more time. The defensive back for Lorraine Middle, Blake Jamerson, may have jumped a hair too early. And that ball went right over his fingertips into the waiting arms of the streaking Michael Rosario.
I can hear Lenny Gerace sitting in the stands now saying, "Oh, I did that 20 years ago."
Fake pitch. Here's the handoff.
Oh, he's gone.
Lots of room for Chris Flowers. He's to the 50. He's to the 40.
He's out of bounds.
And now he's running out of bounds. Boy, Flowers showing some speed here on the near side.
You know what he was doing? He just kept trying to run wider and wider to get away from the pursuit, but he was going to be out in the track by the time he got to the pylon.
They mark him out of bounds.
They weren't going to get him, that's for sure, because he just kept going wider.
At the
a great play.
41-yard line.
Just turned the corner, outran him. Look at him going wider and wider.
Oh, my. He was heading right to Oberlin Avenue if he had stayed on that track.
Kenny Clark had the gate open. He was going out the door.
Spot him out at the 43, but Lorraine Middle
What
with
a great play. What exciting. This is a
good football game between the 8th graders. 14-12. There's the pitch.
We'll go
to
the other
Flowers.
way.
Now he'll give it to Desmond
Oh,
Carter.
nice
Carter
hit.
eludes a tackle at the 50, but then down he goes at the 49-yard line.
Michael Castillo put a big hit on him, but again, couldn't bring him down. Wide open, razzle dazzle.
That's fun to see, and it makes it fun for the kids as well.
You know, when I was coaching a long, long time ago at this level, every week we put in a fun play. May never have run it, but we had one every week just to keep the kids' interest and let them think that, well, there may be a day we put that play in.
Did they have face masks when you coached?
Yes. and they had plastic helmets. Not even paper. No leather.
Back to pass.
Look out.
Is Colin Wright. Here comes the hit. Oh, the ball got knocked out of there. And Lorraine Middle is able to fall on it. Boy, a terrific hit was applied by Greg Curry. Loss all the way back to the 44-yard line. Who is this bringing us some hot chocolate?
One of the Lorraine Middle people trying to suck up to us, hope we'll say something nice. I keep looking for a paper that says Mrs. Pfeiffer's my favorite teacher, but I can't find one.
Boy, look at. Oh, I thought.
Thank you.
Thought we were going to replay. Sorry about that. Here we go. Watch the hit right there.
Wow.
Boy, nice tackle applied by Greg Curry.
And he's the one that took the shot earlier on the block, remember?
Colin Wright on the pitch. Now we're going to get a throw downfield from Sigmund. No, he'll take off, but he's tripped up from behind. Nice defensive play made by Mike Castillo for Whittier.
We're doing all the talking. You know, while we have a break here, Tim, somebody I know went to see Mount Union play a couple weeks ago, and in their program, they have 237 players on their roster.
My goodness.
And I read in the Plain Dealer last week where they've lost one regular season game in the last 10 years. They're like 100 and I don't know what their number. It was like 91-1 or something.
Well, we were talking earlier tonight. I may have been during the 7th grade game or earlier in this contest about the Amherst Avon Lake game Friday night over at Avon Lake. I know earlier this year when we had Avon Lake on WEOL against North Olmsted, you get the rosters before the game. 1 through 99, every number was taken for Avon Lake. 1 through 99, 10 through 12. 10 through 12. They had 99
you say what you want, but
dressing.
W's will put kids on a team. They'll go out and put up with a lot of stuff if they're on a winning program.
Absolutely. Mayer looked like he was going to punt. Short snap, and Derek Carter is upended way short of the first down. Well, there's a gamble by Lorraine Middle.
Well, I would think with 30 seconds left, I might have kicked that one and hope that they run out the clock. But
we'll see.
You give them the ball and on your side of the field, especially after that last pass that was thrown.
We'll see if Gerace tries to hook up with Rosario one more time. That was a lethal combination just a couple of minutes ago. 37 seconds to go in the half. 14-12. Lorraine Middle leading by 2. It's been an exciting 8th grade football game.
Do you suppose that the Oberlin beating Worcester Saturday was the biggest upset in college football?
That was unbelievable. Picked up the paper on Sunday morning and saw that score. It's like,
thought it was a misprint, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Hey, Jeff Ramsey's done a terrific job there. He's gone into that program, realized what he was walking into, and slowly but surely has put the building blocks in place to have Oberlin football be respectable. Timeout on the field. Again, we have 37 seconds to go in the half. It's been an entertaining 2 quarters of football. 14-12, Lorraine Middle leading Whittier. Whittier scored first. Miles Page with a 4-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. Lorraine Middle got back-to-back touchdowns from Carter here in the second quarter. Desmond with a 62-yard run. Followed that up with a 25-yard run. Lorraine Middle led it 14-6, but just moments ago, Michael Rosario on a fly pattern down the right sideline was hit in stride by Vince Gerace, and Lorraine Middle's lead was sliced to 14-12. Whittier couldn't convert on the 2-point conversion. That's where we stand. Double wing, single back behind Gerace. Now coming in motion to the left is Garcia. And there's a ball bobbling around. Finally out of there with an alignment for Whittier. Not for long. He's thrown to the turf like a wet load of wash. Eddie Nazario.
That was his throw, though. He picked that ball up. He was going to rumble into the end zone.
And now Whittier will try to get one more play off. We're down to 16, 15, 14 seconds to go. Full house backfield behind Gerace. Gerace will pitch to Nash. Nash will throw it deep, and it's incomplete. Rosario was running down the left side. Nash threw it to the middle of the field.
Well, being a wide receivers coach, I would say I'll blame that on the halfback throwing it in the wrong spot.
So 5 seconds to go, and Whittier will take one more crack at this thing.
There was a picture in a Plain Dealer this morning, and I want to say it was John Carroll, but I could be wrong, where they practice at 6 o'clock in the morning on Tuesdays because all their kids are in labs on Tuesday nights. Was it Case or was it John Carroll?
It was John Carroll. We had their, it was Case. We had their coach on our Monday night show. There's a wobbler from Gerace. Pass is intercepted on the pick for Lorraine Middle. Jamerson to the 50, 45-40. Jamerson on the run to the 30, to the 25, and finally collared from behind. Jamerson almost took it to the house. An entertaining 2 quarters of football here at George Daniels Stadium. There's the wounded duck that Gerace threw up there. Jamerson, he thought about handing it off, then he said, nope, I'm going to take it. And he almost took it all the way. Had one guy to beat. It was Gerace, the quarterback, that actually came back and got him by the jersey. So at the half, Lorraine Middle goes to the locker room, leading by 2. It's the Steelmen 14 and the Warriors 12.
Or to the end zone.
Yeah, there you go.
No, they're in the end zones.
That's exactly right. We'll take a timeout on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
Adrian Christo, Casey Reese, Kiri Heather. Please be sportsmanlike. We ask that these Lorraine Middle stand fans please go back to the stands. Lorraine Middle fans, we ask that you please get back in the stands. Ladies, we ask that you please get back in the stands.
Welcome back to George Daniels Stadium in beautiful downtown Lorain. Tim Elkhorn, Barry Buck with you on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television. First play of the third quarter. Lorraine Middle with the football,
nice
and the first play doesn't go well as the pitch goes left to Chris Flowers, and Flowers was hit and dropped in the backfield.
Chris Flowers, backfield for a loss.
And I think it was Mike Castillo.
14-12. Lorraine Middle leading Whittier as we start the third quarter of play. Again, the Lorraine Middle quarterback is Colin Wright. Julius Rollins, the lone back behind him. Rollins gets the handoff. Rollins to the 35. Rollins to the 40. He's to the 45. Miles Page comes up to hit him, and he breaks that tackle, carrying a couple of more guys. Flags flying, and Rollins never did get thrown down. They just slowed him up at the 43-yard line, but again, a flag on the play.
Probably going to see a face mask. No, they're talking to, oh, they're fixing a...
And they're having a conversation with Matt Yost as Rollins just kept battling and battling. Look at that, 6 red jerseys on Rollins. He never did go down. Big Julius has had a good ball game for Lorraine Middle. And they'll march this one off about 10 yards.
I think our producer director was really trying to punish us there. He had the outside mic on, and
These aren't noise cams. I ended up for the cheerleaders.
now you know what Backler and I go through every Friday night.
Hey, I run camera, I run tape, I run...
First down and 10. Excuse me, second down for Lorraine. Lorraine Middle.
It's only going to be 5 yards too, Tim. I'll help you out. It's 2nd and 5. You take care of Joe, I'll take care of the game. It's 2nd and 5 on the 40.
Rollins, the low back behind Wright. They go back to the same play, and Julius just powering his way out over the 45 to about the 47-yard line.
Well, it was the same play, not quite the same result, where he got the 6 yards for the first down, but should be 1st and 10 for Lorraine Middle.
Again, we want to thank our terrific sponsors here on WLCS TV 20. Of course, CC's Pizza. They'll have our Player of the Game Award following the contest. First Federal Savings of Lorain, Impressions, and of course the Lorain Palace Civic Center, where this weekend on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday you can see Freaky Friday. First and 10 for Lorraine Middle. Colin Wright, hands off. Julius Rollins to the midfield stripe, just barrels his way down to the Whittier 45-yard line.
Yeah, I wonder if he talked to the coaching staff at the half and said, look, I've thrown 3 or 4 great blocks. How about letting me carry the ball a couple times? And the way he's carrying it, I wouldn't let anybody else. You know, we talked in the 7th grade game, they had 3 good running backs for the 7th grade team. You got 2 or 3 here. Tony Shoulders and Bill Jones have to be just looking and saying, we got some players coming.
They've got some players coming. There's no doubt about that. It has been an impressive display of football here at George Daniel. Steelman quarterback is Colin Wright. Rollins behind him, or new back in there as Rollins gets a breather. And the fullback,
Rolando,
was indeed
Rolando Carter, 76.
Yep. Boy, the big fella. He got about 1. We'll make it a first down.
The fridge.
For Lorraine Middle.
Didn't I see a couple weeks ago Warren Sapp scored a touchdown?
Yes. Although I was reading in the Plain Dealer this week, interesting note, Warren Sapp does not have a sack this year.
He's got a lot of fines, though.
Oh, my.
He got fined again.
He does tend to chat a little bit, doesn't he? First down and 10 for Lorraine Middle at their own 43-yard line. Fake pitch. Handoff goes to Carter. Carter goes down at the 48. Boy, that's a terrific defensive play. Greg Curry, he's been very active defensively.
Well, since he got knocked down on that block, he's been all over the field.
Castillo was in there as well.
Those two, that's the second time this series that those two have paired up together and made the tackle, and they just came through, read the counter, and we're standing in the hole waiting for him.
Second down and about 15 now for Lorraine Middle. 4:50 to go, third quarter of play. Lorraine Middle leading Whittier 14-12 in what has been a very entertaining 8th grade football game here at George Daniel. Again, earlier the 7th grade contest was all Lorraine Middle, 34-6. Wright throws over the middle, pass deflected, incomplete. He was looking for Matt Yost. Getting up there was Miles Page for Whittier.
You know, Timmy, you look at Colin Wright, you look at Vince Gerace throwing the ball. They both drop back. They both set their feet. They step forward when they throw the ball. They square their shoulders up. The coaching at this level is being shown tonight in how well the kids are playing and the fundamentals. This is what you're trying to teach kids, how to do the things. Maybe they don't have the strength to do it, but you need to learn the technique.
Flowers, wing left. Carter, wing right. Julius Rollins back in the ball game. Pitch goes to Flowers. He now hands it to Carter. Carter at the 50. Carter to the 40. Carter to the 35. Carter dragged down from behind by Miles Page at the 31-yard line.
There was the Admiral King formation, the double wing, the single back, and the counter. And Carter carried it through. I think he's limping off the field there.
It looks crowded back there when all those backs are together, but that play works. Rollins again with a nice block. He sealed it up. That gave Carter some room to scamper.
And first down, and by memory serves me correct, Lorraine Middle's had the ball the whole quarter. Is that right?
Indeed. Yep. 4:06 to go in the quarter. There's that fake pitch. Bobbling the ball is Flowers, and then Flowers hit and dropped. Maurice Nieves for Whittier. In on the stop. Also there was Greg Curry. Boy, Greg Curry is an active defensive player. Does a nice job. Watch Greg chase this play down. Got in there, didn't quit on the play.
I'm trying to think if I can name all the coaches down there. I see Mike Raisler, and I see Ken Faria, Brian Clark for Lorraine Middle. On the other side, we have
Coach
Tony
Bombach
Melendez.
as well. Second down and 11. Inside handoff, Rollins. Rollins just bangs his way inside the 30, down to the 26-yard line. We'll set up third down and about 4. Coach Bombach as well, I think, is on the Lorraine Middle staff.
Got to have a lot of patience. You know, again, the coaches on the field don't have the advantages that high school coaches have, where you have guys in the press box with headsets relaying information down. You're coaching it all from the field, and people that coach at this level have to be very, very patient, very understanding that this is the first time for a lot of the kids, and just teach them to have fun, make them enjoy the game, and want to play football at the high school. And I think you can see that it's reflected in the numbers. Each year, Southview's and King's numbers get bigger and bigger.
Handoff Rollins, and this time there's a whole swarm of red jerseys to meet him at the line of scrimmage. We'll set up a 4th down play for Lorraine Middle. Barry, you mentioned earlier, though, Steelman have had the ball for over 5.5 minutes here in the quarter. They've had it since the third period started, and we're down to 2:20 to go in the third.
That's one way to keep the other team from scoring is don't give them the ball. And, you know, that again is hard to do, is to keep an 8th grade team driving the ball for 5 minutes and without turning it over or, you know, getting a penalty. They had the one penalty on the run, but they made it up in the next play. So Lorraine Middle's doing a great job of controlling the football.
Taking time off that clock. 4th and 7. They're going to go for it. Flowers in motion. Handoff Flowers. Dances out of one tackle. Did his knee touch? No. To the 25, to the 20. He's to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown.
And the Whittier kids are saying that his knee was down, but...
Well, we'll have the advantage of the replay up here. It looked very, very close. Flowers apparently with a 27-yard touchdown run to make it 20-12, Lorraine Middle. Well, it was very, very close. Here's the replay. Flowers will come in motion, gets the handoff, and let's see. Whoa!
No, I don't think he did. I think he straightened his leg out and put his arm down. I mean, if we have to look that close on the replay, you can't expect the official to see that.
Boy, how about Joe Bock, B-O-C-K, with the instant replay.
Slow motion instant replay.
2-point conversion run is no good.
That was a big stop there for Whittier because now they're still only one score behind.
But how about that drive? Chewed up 6 minutes and 18 seconds of the third quarter clock. Lorraine Middle now with a 20-12 lead. That touchdown came on a 4th and 7 play. There's Rollins on the 2-point conversion try as he was stopped short of the goal line. Boy, how about Flowers managing to keep that knee off the ground? And looking at Joe Bock's replay, it certainly appeared as though he managed to keep that knee about an inch, maybe 2, off the turf.
And we have the list over here. Coach Tony Melendez is assisted by Louis Rosario and Dwayne Robinson.
So here comes Whittier, now down by 8, 20-12. Handoff, left side, Garcia, not much. Thrown down at the 35-yard line.
I remember, Tim, a couple years ago at Whittier when I was working there, they showed this tape on the school and had it on all the TVs in the school, and all the kids got to see it. It was pretty neat. Going to see the touchdown again. We're going to see if his knee touched down. It was real difficult to. From this angle, it doesn't look like it touched.
Yeah, I don't think it did. I'm not sure it did. Great job, Joe Bock. 2nd down and 10. Gerace gives it to the first back. Now a reverse. Garcia, left side, tries to get down the sideline, shoved into the Whittier bench at about the 41 for a gain of 6, 3rd down and 4.
You know, you use that play as a coaching point. It looked like the Whittier kids quit. And you got to teach them that you just keep playing until you hear the whistle. I mean, if you watch the Steelers and the Broncos on Sunday, they had what looked like a fumble or a pass that was thrown, and the beanbag went flying out, which tells me that the ball's still alive. He's marking the spot where it was fumbled. The ball laid there. No one, after 3, 4, 5 seconds before they picked it up. So when the pros do it,
3rd down play, Miles Page got ripped down in the backfield, but he may have been grabbed by the face mask. His head seemed to jerk a little bit. And let's see what the call is.
I saw at least 2 flags, if not 3.
Personal foul, face masking. Indeed, look at that. Whoop. And once you get a hold of that face mask, number 1, you better let go. Number 2, if you pull it, you better not twist that young man's head, or you'll pay 15 yards in penalty yardage, and that's exactly what's going to happen to Lorraine Middle right here with 51 seconds to go in the third. Well, that's a big one all the way down to the 44-yard line.
And not only that, it gives them a new set of downs.
20-12, Lorraine Middle leading. Whittier jumped out on top, 6-0. Lorraine Middle responded with 2 touchdowns to lead 14-6. Whittier responded with a touchdown pass from Gerace to Rosario to make it 14-12. And now Flowers with a 27-yard touchdown run for Lorraine Middle has made it a 20-12 ball game, but back comes Whittier. They're putting together a nice drive.
Nash. This is almost like a prize fight. You know, it's just punch and give me the ball, let me score, and I'll come back and try to counter that. And it's a pretty exciting game. It's
45 seconds to go in the quarter. First down and 10 for Whittier. They're at the Lorraine Middle 35-yard line. And I think they need to move those chains. That's the problem.
Well, I think the linesman was going to look like they were going to bring out a measurement, and the referee stepped in, even though he doesn't have the white hat. He's still the man in charge, and he said, move the sticks, it's first down.
Gerace under center. Straight ahead handoff. Now trying to bounce outside is Andre Nash, and Nash inside the 30 before he's thrown down at about the 29-yard line.
What they need is Mad Dog on the sidelines.
Oh, my.
Have you watched him on TV every Monday night behind Butch Davis?
Well, no, I'm out at Church Street.
He gets there like at, he gets there at 11 in the morning.
To sit behind Butch Davis.
Yes, he's right behind Butch Davis. He sits right there.
Well,
every week.
Yes,
maybe Joe Buck can tape it for you and give it to you so you can see it.
Handoff and just shucking tacklers inside the 25 to about the 24-yard line. Second back through for Southview. On the carry was Michael Wilson. And they'll actually spot him down at about the 23, and that'll be enough for a first down for Whittier.
You know, we've had 40 seconds on the clock. We've run 3 plays, moved the chains twice, and we've gone 10 seconds.
Now that play stayed in bounds, I thought.
I thought so too.
There we go. Now we're rolling. Boy, oh boy. Beth, don't make this night any longer than it has to be. Inside handoff goes to Miles Page. He's upended inside the 20 at about the 18-yard line, and that should be the final play of the third quarter. We're down to 12, 11, 10. I don't think Whittier will get this play off. Indeed, they're looking up at the clock. So that'll do it. We head to the fourth. Whittier trailing by 8, but on the move. Can they even this thing up in the fourth period? We'll find out. 20-12, Lorraine Middle leads after 3 quarters on WLCS TV 20, Lorraine City Schools Television.
Your one-stop place for something really special is Impressions, corner of Oberlin Avenue and Tower Boulevard. T-shirts and sweatshirts personally designed to your specific needs. Anything from bears, trains to zebras, and specially designed hats as well. And don't forget Impressions, your one-stop spot for school jackets. See Dave, the designer expert at Impressions, Oberlin Avenue at Tower Boulevard, right here in Lorain.
First play of the fourth quarter, Whittier with a 2nd and 6 at the 18. Gerace back to pass over the middle, and it's intercepted. Matt Yost on the pick. Yost returns it out over the 25 to about the 27-yard line.
We were just sitting here saying before the quarter, we probably just run the ball and try, because they haven't been stopped yet. And they come out and threw the ball, and he threw it right across the middle. Kid scraped to the right area, was just hanging in their wings and picked it off. Nice play.
Keep in mind that in the third quarter, Lorraine Middle had the ball first, and they chewed up 6 minutes and 18 seconds of the clock. And they also punched it in on a 4th and 7. Flowers went over from 27 yards out. Chris Flowers. So here's Lorraine Middle with the ball back. Fake pitch, inside handoff goes to Julius Rollins. Look out, Julius, or excuse me, is that Carter? No, that's Julius. Julius to the 40, to the 20, and it is Carter.
Man, he just ran right through like 4 defenders, and then he was gone.
I couldn't discriminate between the 34 and 24. It ended up being 24. Derek Carter, that's his 3rd touchdown of the night, and Lorraine Middle extends their lead 26-12, 7:34 to go. I thought he had a little too much speed for Rollins.
Then he just broke right through. Look at that. Boom. He just outran him, and look at a block number 3 through. Chris Flowers threw a block at the end. And that's kind of nice to see these kids blocking for each other and not saying, well, I'm the ball carrier and that's all I'm doing. That was a great block.
Man,
Chris Flowers.
3 touchdowns for Carter in the first game. It was Antoine Carlton, that had 4 in the first contest. There's Flowers going for the two-point conversion, and he got there.
Yep, he turned and fell into the end zone.
So it's now a 28-12 lead for Lorraine Middle.
I think Matt Yost said he wanted an assist on that touchdown because of his interception. Again, score from the turnover.
Boy, a 72-yard burst by Carter.
Yeah, they said they had the ball too long the first time, so they just...
So Whittier will have it at their own 35-yard line. In all likelihood, we'll see the ball in the air now.
Just what we wanted to hear, right? It was shootout. Well, hopefully it'll get back to when Lorraine Middle gets it back, they'll run the ball.
Gerace under center. In motion to the right goes Andre Nash. Nash gets the handoff, bobbing and weaving out to about the 40-yard line. Second down and 5.
Now comes the case, Tim, when you're down 2 scores in only 8-minute quarters, you really got to kind of pick the pace up. And I'm kind of surprised that Whittier hasn't gone back to the no huddle like they did in the first series that they had the ball. They need the ball twice. And that last turnover was a big because Whittier was driving the ball, turned it over, and Lorraine Middle went for the other score.
Rosario's now the quarterback. Fake handoff. Michael rolling right. Now he tries to reverse his field, and he can't. Dropped.
Here comes a flag.
36 and a late flag on the play. Again, we thank our sponsors, good folks over at Lorain Palace Civic Center, where this weekend, Friday night, you can see Freaky Friday. Saturday night, you can see Freaky Friday. Freaky Friday on Sunday as well. It's the weekend of Freaky Friday. And then, of course, next weekend, Halloween weekend, Freddy versus Jason. Now, that's appropriate for Halloween weekend.
My favorite holiday.
They've got some great shows coming up. They got Get Back, Beatlemania. That's coming in November. Of course, the Legends of TV Comedy. I've heard a lot about this on WEOL. Ruth Buzzy, Ronnie Shell, Steve Landsberg, Jack Riley. They'll be there Saturday, October 18th. That's this weekend.
They brought some great shows into the Palace recently. There's a handoff.
Not much there.
Willie Nelson.
Hey, don't forget, after the ball game, we'll have our CC's Pizza Player of the Game. I think we have one player kind of separating himself from the rest of the pack.
It was getting tough there for a while, but he's kind of, distanced himself. We have an injured player on the field here.
Yep, we have a Whittier player shaken up, so we'll take a timeout. 6:40 to go, 28-12. Lorraine Middle over Whittier as the Steelmen look to sweep the night. 7th graders won the opener 34-6. We're back after this on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
It's a sound we take for granted. Life seems so simple as a child, yet 500,000 children in Ohio have vision problems. Problems that, if not detected early, can lead to loss of sight and difficulty learning. Simple activities like riding a bike can become dangerous. When you register your vehicle or renew your license plates, add a $1 donation to the Save Our Sight Fund and help save the sight of Ohio's children. For more information, call 1-800-755-GROW.
Thanks for giving to Save Our Sight.
Welcome back. Cameron Bryant was the player for Whittier. Shaken up on the play, but seems to be okay, and now Whittier needs a timeout.
Now, that's something you don't see very often. The tailback called timeout. I mean, because he was closest to the official.
Miles Page said, wait a minute, we're not quite organized
Well, the
here.
scoreboard wasn't ready anyway. They were doing the timeout clock still winding down.
The fourth quarter of these games sometimes. It is a beautiful setting under the lights here at George Daniel. Although, again, I'll go back to my comments in the first game. For those who may not have heard, I'm an advocate. I'd like to see the 2 Lorain schools, Admiral King and Southview, in varsity football, give the old Saturday afternoon ball game a try again. I used to really enjoy calling that when it was Lorain and Admiral King.
When I was
They'd play
coaching,
on Saturday afternoons, that was a ball.
That was my favorite game.
That was a ball.
It was close to a college setting as you can get.
It was. Rosario fakes the quarterback draw, now bounces outside. That ball may have been stripped out of there, as it looked as though it came free, but Whittier came out of there with it. But Yeah, the Saturday afternoon affair, man, that was fun. Most of Lorain County would show up. It was the only game in the area. A lot of area coaches would be here.
People
Fans would file in.
With families, with their little kids, because it was Saturday afternoon. I'll ask you a basketball question. What do you think about the new rule that to keep the scores from getting so lopsided that it's a running clock? Now, the National Federation has left it up to the state, saying you can set a, let's say it's a 30-point game, but we don't stop the clock then.
I think the rules are the rules. Play by the rules. Rosario is going to hang it deep down the right side, and it's knocked away.
It's almost like they're saying, well, the coaches don't have enough sense to not beat someone by 80 points. We have to try to kind of stop that. But you're right.
Well, you've seen that happen in football games before, and I don't like it. I mean, you know, play the game the way it's supposed to be played.
That might have been the same administrator that said, I want to go, kids will be home early.
Lorain County Conference, if you had a running clock in football, they'd be home in time for supper. 2nd and 10 for Whittier at the 48-yard line. Rosario back to pass. He's going to hang another one down that right sideline. He'll keep trying it. Pass again deflected, incomplete. 3rd down and 10.
Definitely wouldn't have to turn the lights on, would you?
Oh, my.
And it's not like they got to do a whole lot of traveling in the Lorain County Conference. You know, when King used to go to Marion or to Findlay, you know, and Marion was like the other side of the world. But here, what's the biggest travel you have would be Wellington to Midview, right? Or would it be Wellington to Avon?
Well, Clearview to Wellington's about 30, 35 miles. I mean, that's not a 100-mile jaunt. I agree with you. Rosario flips it right side. Oh, my. Michael Wilson got annihilated on the play. Rolando Carter.
Remember in the first half, we knew the player by the gold socks? Rolando's got the gold pants on.
And what's up with that? I know when you're a Buckeye and you beat Michigan, you know, you get the gold pants when you beat Michigan, correct? Rolando out there wearing the gold pants.
Reminds me of L.C. Greenwood then, right? Or that was the gold shoes.
That play was golden right there as he absolutely destroyed Michael Wilson in the backfield. 4th and 15 for Whittier. We're down to 5 minutes to go. They're going to go for it. Rosario out of the shotgun. Here comes the rush. Eludes the heat. Throws a wobbler down the middle of the field. And it's intercepted at the 30-yard line. Tom Sigmund with the pick for Lorraine Middle. Well, Rosario was bound and determined to throw that ball deep. 3 different times he tried it. Twice it got batted away, and on the 3rd time he got picked off.
He completed it.
So here comes the Lorraine Middle offense.
That's a real tough pass to complete because you know Lorraine Middle's going to loosen up. It's 15 yards.
Plus, for an 8th grader, that's a difficult throw.
Yes, it is.
Your hand just hasn't quite developed to that big enough size where you can get a good grip on that ball and let a spiral rip for about 40 yards. 1st and 10 for Lorraine Middle at their own 29-yard line. Steelmen are leading 28-12. Single back. And now the inside handoff, Rollins. Rollins out over the 35, close to the 40. That'll be a 1st down.
I learned something the other day about the football that I didn't know. In the pros, it's the home team's responsibility to make sure the ball is the way that they want it. It was supposed to be equal for both. So they were saying like the quarterback for Denver checks the balls to make sure they're right, but they may not be right for the quarterback from Pittsburgh. I know in high school you can bring your own ball. You can change balls and throw the ball that you want to throw. In the pros, it's the home team's responsibility, and they were saying that it should be each team should have their own ball.
I didn't know that. Fake pitch, handoff on the misdirection goes to Keon Alston, and Alston dropped back at the 36-yard line.
I think he was ready to run a long way. I think that was Chris Garcia.
Again, stay with us after the ball game. We'll wrap things up. We'll tell you about our CC's Pizza Player of the Game. Boy, we'll talk about that buffet as well. How about 16 kinds of pizza?
And I think 4 or 5 of them are dessert pizzas. They have a brownie pizza.
Oh.
Cinnamon roll pizza.
Oh.
Apple pie pizza.
Oh, my. Oh, man, Barry Buck, you're making me growl over here.
I can't sit here and talk about something and read about it unless I go check it out.
They're going to try that same play to Keon Alston, and Alston didn't have much more luck on this one than he had on this previous play.
I went one time and I even dropped the hint that I worked for Joe Bach, but...
Well, like that'll ever score anybody any points. Joe Bach, man, oh man,
I even spelled it. I said B-O-C-K.
Yeah, they're charging you extra. My goodness.
I was going to throw Ray's name in, but they would have thrown me out.
You had to say Bacalar's name. He's an institution here in Lorain. 3rd down and a long 10 for the Lorain Steelmen. Handoff goes to Jerry Branham, a new back in there now for Lorain. And Branham thrown down outside the 40 at about the 42-yard line.
One of the nice things about this game, Tim, is these kids probably play together on baseball teams. They've known each other from elementary school. Sometimes they go to an elementary school and then change middle school, so they know each other. They'll play basketball here in another couple weeks.
But you were talking that with some of the changes going on here in the Lorain City schools, the 2 middle schools are now going to expand out a little bit, so you won't see this
I think it's by 2008, all the renovations and all the new schools being built, there are going to be 4 middle schools. There's going to be one at Longfellow, one here in Washington, back here behind the stadium, one at Lorain, where Lorain High is now, or Lorraine Middle, and one where Whittier is. They're going back to 4 schools.
We're down to 2:15 to go in this football game. And there's a delay of game call against Lorraine Middle. Boy, the schools that are being built here in the city of Lorain are going to be gorgeous.
Supposed to be. They're going to be, the people valued education enough to pass that levy and get the state money and the $200 million. And by the 2008 year, they're supposed to have all new schools in Lorain.
Here's the punt for Lorraine Middle. Matt Mayer gets it away. Short kick. Bounces at the 45 and will roll dead at about the 45 of Whittier with 2:08 on the clock. Whittier will get it back, trailing 28-12. Whittier actually led in this ball game 6-0. Then 2 touchdowns by Desmond Carter in the second quarter for Lorraine Middle. Put them up 14-6 before Rosario hauled in a touchdown pass from Gerace to make it a 14-12 Lorraine Middle lead at the half. But Flowers, with a 27-yard run for Lorraine Middle in the third, extended the lead to 20-12. And then Carter, here in the fourth quarter of play, raced 72 yards for a score. Lorraine Middle leading 28-12. And Derek Carter, he's fun to watch. Sure, Bill Jones will try to utilize him some way or fashion next year.
He's got a couple coming. He's got one at the freshman level now that was here last year. And he'll have these 2 next year. And he's got a stable of backs.
Timeout on the field. Again, we're down to 2:08 to go here at George Daniels Stadium on a beautiful October night. Glad you could join us on WLCS TV 20. 7th grade game was entertaining. 8th grade one has been pretty good as well.
And remember, if you're watching the game Friday night and you forget to tell Grandma or Grandpa, it'll be on Sunday at 3 o'clock and 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. That's a day full of football. Watch the Browns at 1. Watch the middle school guys at 3 and 8. Rosario throws it right side, right through the hands of Maurice Nieves.
And then there'll be a pro game on at 8:30. And hopefully the World Series with the Red Sox and the Cubs. But
well, that remains to be seen as we sit here right now. I'd like to see that. I think America would like to see that.
I know Fox would like to see it.
The Marlins and the Yankees don't want to see it. Rosario rolling to the right, got shoved into the Whittier bench. That'll stop the clock. 1:58 to go. We have to thank our producer-director, Joe Bach. Outstanding work, as always. Well, you guys, every Friday night you get to do this with Joe, for the most part, during the high school football season. And he treats you well. You got the replay monitor.
And Ray feeds us like you can't believe on... I think he brought that pizza just for you tonight, though. But he had a surprise for you. Didn't he say he was all set to bring you a special pizza?
Yes.
And she was closed.
But hey, I'll tell you what, I'm going to check out that CC's Pizza. Pizza buffet. Man, anytime you can mix the words pizza and buffet in one sentence. Oh, as my friend Joe Tate would say, outstanding.
You may have to wait and take him there.
Oh, my. If I ever take Joe Tate there, there won't be any pizza left by the time we're done. My goodness. Sure, we'll have Joe back on this year on WLCS TV 20 for an appearance on Sports Scene.
He's such a good guy, and he does a great job with the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. He's emceed that for years and years. Talk about an institution, and Joe and Rosie, they go hand in hand at the Sports Hall of Fame. He always wants to know where Rosie is. And
hard to believe that Rosie will be 90 years old next month.
And said that his wife will not let him back in, is it Medina he lives in?
Yep.
Not allowed in Medina unless he's got a pizza from Rosie's on the way home.
Had a Southview player shaken up. That was Rosario as he went into the Whittier bench. I think I slipped up for the first time right there, said Southview. Whittier player Rosario now hobbles over. 1:58 to go.
And we can see the soccer girls over there on about the 20-yard line, getting ready for the sectional soccer match as soon as this game's over.
I formation as the Whittier quarterback is now Gerace. Gerace flings it over the middle, and was the diving catch made?
He caught it. Yes,
Indeed,
he did.
it was. Nice catch. Boy, a terrific play down there. I think that was Curry. Greg Curry. He's been active tonight for Whittier.
I think you saw a little pre-movement there on the snap, and the line judge on this side was about to reach for the flag, and he said, Tim needs to get out of here, and the girls need to play soccer. Let's go.
1:51.
So a busy night at George Daniel.
Indeed.
2 football games.
Gerace being chased. Now he eludes the rush. Being chased again. Rolling to the left. Throws it left. Incomplete. Pass almost intercepted as it fluttered at the feet of John Phillips.
Well, Kenny Clark and his crew will have a week off anyway to get the field ready for the final week of the season, and I would anticipate a tournament game here, football playoff game.
Oh, absolutely.
Division 3 or 4, hopefully. Be a couple games here. It all depends on, where the teams are located and if this is a neutral fit for them.
Generally, if you get a club from the Toledo-Sandusky area and then one from the Cleveland area, this is as good a site as you can get for about halfway between. Gerace back to pass. Here comes the rush, and he eludes both of them. Oh, my. Rolling to the left, but not the third. Down he goes. Well, Gerace did a good job of eluding the rush of Kyle Smith, I believe, was the first guy that tried to get a lick on him. And Gerace kept scrambling, and finally the third guy got him.
Yeah, Matt Yost got him. I remember a few years ago when Clyde played here. It was before 6 o'clock. Tip off at 7, and you couldn't find a place to sit here on this side of the stands. The whole town of Clyde was here, and Huron was here a couple of years ago when they played Elyria Catholic. Probably one of the better games I've ever seen played here in a tournament game.
3rd and 13 for Whittier. Gerace, hands off. There's Curry. Curry to the 35, thrown down at the 34. Won't be enough for the first down. I'll tell you, one of the most memorable nights as far as playoff football I ever had here at George Daniel Field was the night that Amherst, that was the 4th down play. Here's the 4th down play, 4th and 3. Gerace, hands off. Curry to the 30. Curry to the 25, dropped right there. Was the night. Boy, this would be maybe 1992, 1993, when Amherst played Elyria West.
Yes.
It was a great football game. Came right down to the wire. 20 seconds to go. 1st and 10 from the 25. Gerace gives it to Miles Page. Page tries to get outside. He's to the 20, shakes a tackle to the 15. I think he stayed in bounds.
No,
they will stop the clock with 10 seconds to go.
I had mentioned earlier about Al Hereditario coaching at Amherst. Now, he was the coach at Elyria West, and his son was the fullback for Amherst.
That's exactly right. I think it was Dan Hereditario.
It was Aaron.
Yep.
Aaron was the fullback then.
So they stop the clock with 10 seconds to go, as Whittier will try to get one more in, trailing 28-12. The Warriors with the ball at the 16-yard line. Well, that was just a great ball game that night.
And that coach, Darryl Main, has gone on down to Upper Arlington and
eventually won a state
championship down there. The only thing I used to hate about that was he held that Wolverine helmet up. Remember they had one kid that stood on the sidelines and held that helmet up for 4 quarters. Had to look at that helmet.
Here we go from the 16-yard line. 10 seconds to go. Gerace, inside handoff, Curry. Curry to the 10. Curry down to about the 6. 3 seconds to go. Now they will stop the clock to move the chains. And I think Whittier saying get up on that line of scrimmage because they're going to wind that thing. 3 seconds to go. Well, no, they didn't wind it.
There he did.
Yeah, but they didn't wind it on the scoreboard.
That's upstairs.
2-1, well, they'll get it off. Gerace, hands off, left side, touchdown on the final play of the game. Greg Curry.
That was nice. He carried the ball all the way down the field. They might as well let him score. What a good football game.
Curry on a 6-yard touchdown run. And will they go for the 2-point or will they just say forget about it? And I think the officials are going to say let's just call this a night. So that'll do it. No 2-point conversion attempt. Lorraine Middle walks out of here a winner, 28-18. But for Whittier, a little bit of salvation at the end as Curry goes over to make the final 28-18. We'll be back. We'll wrap this one all up for you and call it a night from George Daniels Stadium in Lorain after this on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
CC's Pizza, all you can eat for only $3.99.
CC's Buffet has 16 kinds of great tasting pizza, pasta, salad, and desserts, all you can eat for only $3.99. And CC's was voted #1 for overall customer satisfaction.
The best buffet that you can find, lunch and dinner anytime. Let's go to CC's Pizza. Great taste and a great price.
Welcome back to George Daniel Field in Lorain. Tim Elkhorn, Barry Buck, Joe Bach, our producer-director here on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television. Hope you enjoyed the doubleheader. What a thrill it is for these young guys to get out here and play at George Daniel Stadium. Of course, in the opener, it was a while back, but in the 7th grade ball game, it was Lorraine Middle knocking off Whittier by a score of 34-6. And now in the nightcap, in the 8th grade contest, it's a clean sweep for Lorraine Middle as they knock off Whittier by a final of 28-18. But Barry, as we talked about, you see the development. You see these young guys develop their football skills, and hopefully for Bill Jones and Tony Shoulders at Admiral King and Southview, respectively, developing enough so that they can contribute to the parent football programs rather shortly.
Yeah, as we said in the beginning, there are a couple of players that played for Admiral King the other night were here 2 years ago, and we saw them play on a Wednesday or a Thursday afternoon, and 2 years later they're starting in George Daniel. And so this program will pay off. This game right here will pay off in 2 years if people follow down the road, and you'll see these kids playing again.
Tell you what, we had plenty of candidates as far as our players of the game were concerned, but our CC's Pizza player of the game, here in this second game, it has to go to Derek Carter of Lorraine Middle. 3 touchdowns, and certainly Julius Rollins helped him out quite a bit with some big blocks, but Derek Carter showing he may contribute as a freshman to Lorraine Admiral King.
Yes, and then with as is in the 7th grade game, the tailback carried him for them, and 4 touchdowns there, and now we got 3 touchdowns in the nightcap. It's been a great night for the Steelman running backs.
No doubt about that. Barry, as always, enjoy working with you.
Fun.
Our once-a-year extravaganza. It comes to a conclusion.
Well, I'll be doing it again next year. If you're here, I'm here.
All right, sounds good to me. Again, we thank you for tuning in right here on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television. Again, the finals in the first game, 7th grade contest. It was Lorraine Middle over Whittier by a score of 34-6. Lorraine Middle takes the nightcap as well in the 8th grade contest. They knock off Whittier by a final of 28-18. I thank Barry Buck, Joe Bach, our producer-director, we thank him tremendously for his outstanding work running the camera and basically spinning all those dials that make this game look as good as it does right here on WLCS. And, of course, we thank you for watching. Until next time, right here on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television, I'm Tim Elkhorn. Thanks for watching, and so long, everybody.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.
To purchase a high-quality copy of the program you just viewed, please call Lorain City Schools Television at 282-8400.